next in our little video series here, we have the newest of the puppets in my collection, and he's so new he just arrived in the mail today. And there's a reason why I'm wearing gloves. This guy, he's a bit worse for wear. But contained within this mailing parcel is none other than Emmett Kelly, made by the Horseman Doll Company. Or what's left of him. Had a bit of an odd thing when this guy arrived in the mail. Apparently, now this is a guess, but apparently someone had tried opening the box. And by tried, I mean they literally tore off the strip of tape on the bottom of the box and opened the flaps, and then reclosed the flaps with the box still being left on the stoop. Yeah, wasn't too happy about that. I was not thrilled about hearing that news, because with the state of this poor little fella, I thought for sure that, like, maybe during shipment, a couple of the pieces that are loose on the puppet had like gotten lost, or maybe were just now gone to time and I was going to have to track down like a new hand and stuff for him. But fortunately everything is still in the box, just had that weird little thing. I was at work when I got the message that the box had arrived, but ... and I was told about it being opened. And I was concerned, because who the hell is opening, my packages? But that's neither here nor there. Especially on a day where it was like negative, or, it was like either -1 or 2 degrees, or it's been in the single digits, which it has for the last couple of days. Anyway, I'm getting off task here. So, with Emmett Kelly here, he was produced by the Horseman Doll Company, I want to say around 1974. This guy, the person who sold him to me, found him in some attic of a house he was cleaning out. He was in a couple of shopping bags, like Walmart bags. And this poor little son of a gun, this guy looks like he's been through the wars. His leg is mostly detached down here. Like I mentioned about the hand, he's got one hand that's completely detached there. And when I first opened him up to make sure all the pieces were still there, I made the, we'll call it a mistake, of undoing his shirt, his little suit jacket here, and taking off this fake undershirt. That's about all that's holding this poor little son of a gun together. Because, this right down here, this extra piece of cloth hanging down, he's a doll. Don't be squeamish. But anyway, right here, this is supposed to be all the way up here near the neck. And honestly, because of how that outcrops, I thought that like his head was on backwards. But no. Like, I thought that was supposed to be his bottom, so, he can sit. But his bottom is actually back here. And yeah, as you can see, with all the stuff falling out of him, this poor little lad, he is definitely Dummy Diaries fodder. This guy needs a restoration. Here, I'll bring him closer to the camera so y'all can get a better look at the face. But I'm bringing the box because I don't want the foam getting all over my bedroom floor. He's one of not many ventriloquist puppets I know of that actually has a frown instead of, looking happy all the time. This guy, Mo Howard, and there was another Emmett Kelly that was produced by the Juro Novelty Company, which I believe technically it's still in production today, which also has the frown. Oh, that didn't really show the rest of the head, did I? I just showed you his face. Anyway, there's his face with the characteristic white paint, the big red nose, then there's the hair on the side, the part right down the middle like that. And with this guy, he has the body of a Willie Talk, but obviously the head of Emmett Kelly. Anyway, just gonna set him back down over here, and then we'll move right on to the next puppet in the collection. So, be right back with that one. Alright, so we just talked about Emmett Kelly, who is the last of my 1970s ventriloquist puppets as of right now. And next we're going to move on to Mo Howard, made by the Horseman Doll Company in 1981. I think it was a little over a decade since the actual Mo Howard had passed away that the Horseman Doll Company got the license for his likeness. But after that, they actually produced this guy in, I don't know for how long he was being produced by them, but he was made using the same body as a Simon Says ventriloquist puppet. They literally just changed the head and the outfit. And of course the sticker on his back that says what puppet is, what puppet he is. Like, let me see, it should actually say all new materials, contents, polyurethane, foam, and cotton, Horseman Dolls, Columbia, South Carolina. And, oh, okay, it doesn't actually say Mo. But anyway, he's a plastic-bodied, head-stick-controlled ventriloquial figure. He has a little trigger to open the mouth, like so. As a matter of fact, here, let me just do a little thing here. The little hook at the base of the head stick is pretty difficult to get the rubber bands off. Okay, I got it. I gotta be kind of careful with this, because I haven't actually glued his head stick back together since I repaired him. But this is what the head stick on one of these figures looks like. This plastic thing at the bottom here, this plastic hook with a very, very slender gap right there, is where the rubber band that holds the head into the body goes. And he has this fancy little trigger-activated mouth mechanism. And the reason why I haven't glued his head back together yet is because of the fact that it's just such a pain to get in there, to actually replace the rubber bands and other such things. Thankfully, I replaced his rubber band with a spring, with the unfortunate side effect of the fact that now, if you listen closely, you can actually kind of hear the spring rubbing against the plastic when it does that, like, shing, 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 shing. That and the fact that I'm not finished restoring him yet, because, well, story of my life, I got into the habit of collecting and procuring things for one of my restoration series, aka Dummy Diaries, and I got distracted by just continuing to collect things for said series and just letting things continue to build up. So now, the majority of the puppets that you've seen in this little video series have all been project puppets for the Dummy Diaries series, and well, I've just been distracted with other things and just haven't actually gotten around to fully doing the thing, which is cleaning and repairing these puppets. I took the care to actually go through and clean up his head and got everything nice with the head and the inside of the body, because they were both filthy. I also took care of cleaning up his hands, but his outfit is still just as it was when I got it, but thankfully it doesn't have the heavy cigarette smoke aroma that I had to it when I first picked him up. Either that or I've gone nose blind to it, in which case that's not a great thing. Yeah, so there will be an upcoming video on most of these guys in my Dummy Diaries series, so stay tuned for those. Just going to go ahead and somewhat quickly try and reattach that rubber band. I'll do this off screen, and after the jump, we'll move on to the next puppet. Alright, next we have from around 1983 to 1985, and I think actually all the way up to 1987, the Wrinkles dog puppets. Now, give me just a moment. I forgot to look and see what company made these. These were made by Gans Bros. And apparently, according to the tag on this one, it was from 1981. The same as Mr. Howard over there. Let me double check this one. Yep, these guys were from 1981, so they're a fair bit older than I was expecting. But these guys are a nice, soft, plush kind of puppet. And to activate them, to actually use them, you shove your hand in the back of their head. My hands are a bit big, so it's a little bit of a struggle getting my digits up in there. And you would just operate them like this. So like I said, they're a nice cloth tuttet that operates like so. They got a nice soft body, so you can do things like this and be very expressive. And stuff like that. Now, this one actually made a cameo in my 1967 Danny O'Day repair video in the role of Farfel. N-E-S-T-L-E-S, Nestle's next the very best chocolate. Now, this one, I know these things have actual names, like they're actual different characters, but unfortunately I don't remember what the names were. I'd looked up the names like I'm alluding to, but I just don't remember right now. They came in multiple different colors. There was like this chocolate lab looking one right here. There was this gray under blonde looking one right here. There were a bunch of different styles. Like most of them, there were actually a series that came that were dressed in clothing. There was even one that had a sort of like electronic talk box in the mouth. So you'd like make them clamp down and then they'd say something. And you could animate them to say what they were saying. Unfortunately, I don't have a whole lot of info on these guys, so yeah, we'll move on to the next and final puppet for the time being. So, here we go. Alright, y'all, for the, not actually the last puppet for the video, because I forgot that there was one more that's several decades newer than this guy. We have Billy Baloney of Pee-wee's Playhouse fame. Now Billy here, he's a head stick puppet, but he's unique in the fact that the body is actually just kind of like glued onto the neck. Because as you can see, here's the head stick that just kind of pokes out of the fabric down here. He is a multifunctional puppet in that, similar to the Johnson Smith Company puppets, his mouth stays open until you pull the trigger to close it. So, blah blah blah. And he has a little up and down switch right here, which controls the eyes. So you can make him talk and look in different directions, like he's unsure of the situation. Yes. And he always kind of reminded me of Rodney Dangerfield. Just like, hey, yo, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Got a facelift and had another face just like it underneath. Yeah, yeah. But he has plastic feet, he has plastic hands, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, there was merchandise made for the movie Matilda, and I believe for this one item that was called Matilda's doll, they actually used the mold for one of Billy's hands for that weird puppet. I could be wrong. As a matter of fact, now I'm thinking about it, I'm pretty sure that I am wrong, because with that weird little figurine, that weird little stuffed animal type doll, there were like multiple fingers stitched together onto the thing. If I can find a picture of it, I'll throw it up on the screen here. That's been Billy Baloney. And next, on to the final puppet for this little series, for now. Because I can guarantee I'm going to be getting more puppets after this video goes live. So here we go. Just to wrap things up real quick. from 2004. Billy there is from 1988, I think I forgot to mention. But from 2004, from a company called Puppetos, I think. P-U-P-P-E-T... No, yeah, P-U-P-P-E-T-T-O-S. Puppetos. Puppetos. We have this googly-eyed little goober. Looks like some kind of a reptile. And he's got, like I said, these googly eyes, which every time you make him talk, they, like, loudly rattle. He's got these little nubby arms, which I don't think there's a way to... No, they're just stationary. He's got these cool little, like, vampire fangs. He's got these little horns on the top of his head. And he's got these weird little purple bands that go backwards. So I like to think he's some kind of a reptilian monster, or like some kind of an alien. So, ooh, ain't I spooky. Hopefully you can hear me over all that rattling. Oh, he's actually got like some weird little ear thingies. They were matted down to the fur so badly I didn't even notice that until just this second. It's kind of neat. Alright, so folks, as of right now, that is my ventriloquist puppet figure collection, ranging all the way from the 1950s through to 2004, apparently. If you like what you've seen here today, you all know the drill. Like and comment, and above all else, viewers beware, and subscribe if you dare. Later.